on our second segment of end of the year taping, and I happen to have two gentlemen. I was walking down the street and ran into them. I thought I'd bring them into the show, and who we have with Dave Sherman and Jim Love. Dave Sherman, who is Dave Sherman? What do you do for the Marion County residents?
My job is the Director of Public Works, so it means that I have the opportunity to take care of anything that moves in the city, including the city vehicles, and it's kind of a fun job.
Jim?
I'm the Division Officer for the Operations Division, which oversees anything to do with street maintenance and traffic operations, and the new Forestry Section, which became part of Public Works in late September, and we try to get a lot of work done.
Well, you do lots of work. So DPW, Department of Public Works, and that's the department that really serves the Marion County residents every day of the week, believe it or not, 24 hours a day. And one of the biggest things they do is we're going to get out of the way real quick, but we won't have much snow removal. You know, that's a challenge for any area of the country that has snow. And I know that people are always concerned. We had one snow so far, right, this winter?
Yes, we've had one snowfall. As you all know, we all went to bed at 11 o'clock at night thinking we're going to have a little bit of a snow dusting, and we monitored it through the evening and had a crew come out at 3 in the morning. Unfortunately, about 3:45, that dusting turned into a dense snow, and we had slicker conditions because of the cold ice, but we at least had trucks out delivering the salt, and we started bringing more trucks in all night long. And we're now looking for the next snowfall because it looks like we may have a white Christmas.
All right. I know it's always a challenge to a department like DPW, trying to get it just right. So kind of give us the viewers an idea how the Department of Public Works figure this out on snow. I know whether men and women, prognosticators, they guessing lots of time. They got a short window, believe it or not, I guess, that they really can hit it. So how do you all hit it? You have a meteorologist, a weather person. What's that big word?
Meteorologist?
Thank you.
There you go.
Can't get it out this morning. That's that power of sugar I've been eating this morning. Christmas cookies.
Well, what we have at the Department of Public Works, because weather is important to everything we do, not just snow, because our snow fighters are the same people who every day are fixing your potholes, or they might be fixing your signal lights, or they may be the engineers designing some process for you, a bridge or all. And so what we do is we use the National Weather Service on an ongoing basis. And in addition to that, we have 11 probes that are sit out in parts of the county, like where around bridges are or icy hills are. And what they do is they send and measure the ground temperature. Because if you're going to go out and do some crack sealing work, which stops water from getting underneath your roof, your street, you're able to then stop potholes. Or if you're going to go do pothole work, depending on the temperature of the ground, obviously you want to know if you can crack seal or if you can put in a hot mix or a cold mix. And then, of course, with snow, if we can measure that temperature, then we know if it's going to ice up, what's going on. Because dropping salt in warm weather makes no sense, and going forward. And because we have that along with that service, we have a private service that has a satellite that can not only tell the temperatures in different areas of the city, but they can tell the ground temperature throughout the whole Marion County, and that gives us an advantage. But through the nights, we sit and plan. Our team this weekend, Jim's team, are looking at what's going to happen the next weekend coming up, and they're planning about how many crews they need in, because if there's a potential of snow, they're tracking the weather temperatures, and then all night long, once the crews are set to come in, they measure the areas across the Marion County, where's the dangerous areas, and then we track. It's interesting because with our private sector work that we have, the information we have, sometimes the National Weather Service will call us and say, hey, what are you guys seeing? What else are there any changes out there? And then we try to plan. I like to say it's my favorite term is it's not milk money for us. Many of us here, there's going to be a big storm coming in, and go out and buy some water, and make sure you have plenty of milk because it might be tough for a couple days. And we see a lot of that. For us, a storm coming in could cost $200,000 because you have 150 drivers and you have supervisors watching, and that could be a very expensive thing. So we need to be right. And so it's very costly for the citizens because we're using their taxpayer money. And so we have to be right all the time. If it misses us to the north or misses us to the left and we've been out there working, it's an expensive indenture. That's one of the things we have to work on.
I think, Jim, how do you prioritize the streets when you get your crew out there?
The streets are prioritized in basically, excuse me, 3 categories. Priority 1 streets, which are all the major thoroughfares, which are all of our snow routes. We have secondary streets, which are like the feeder streets between 2 majors. Example of that would be 16th Street to Washington Street. Ritter would be that feeder route between those 2 majors. That's just as an example. So almost every numbered east-west and north-south street in Indianapolis is a major snow route, including Lafayette Road, Sam Jones Expressway, the South County line, the East County line, Northern County line is taken care of, the 96th Street taken care of by our neighbor to the north, and then the Western County line is taken care of by Hendricks County. So it's a magnanimous task.
Yeah. How many miles?
Well, 400 square mile county approximately Marion County is, and we have 7,302 lane miles in Marion County. Of that, 4,117 are residential lane miles.
All right.
Now, our snow routes encompass about 6,000 lane miles.
Wow.
So when we put these drivers on the street, and we'll run 2 shifts. Once we go into a 24-hour around-the-clock mode, we'll run 2 12-hour shifts. And for one driver to open up just a pass-through lane, making 1 pass on that route, then that will encompass for about the 6,000 miles. So every time we have to make a second pass, then that just doubles the amount of mileage those drivers have to travel. So it's a long, drawn-out, tedious process, and we cover Marion County with 75 units on each shift. We're trying to escalate that number up to a consistent 80. We're working on that with some other personnel. So by the time you put all that on the street and you've reviewed the forecast and made your best guess based on national weather, local media, we do pay attention to the local media and the paid service that we have, which monitors projects bridge and surface temperatures, those kind of things, and we'll make our best decision based on previous experiences and with the same basic type of weather conditions coming in. Are we 100% right all the time? I don't, the weather is, there's 99,999 variables in weather, so sometimes conditions change on the ground after the storm starts moving in, so you have to adjust for those as well.